All right, thanks.
She has a problem. I think she's logging and disconnecting. No.
Okay. All right. So anyway, I will even Harshaka disconnected, right? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I will just briefly update about the slides that we did on the introduction, just to start the session, and then we'll move from there onwards. All right. Let me. Okay. Now, first of all, today's agenda, we will just go through this introduction slide deck that um, we went through last week, and then we will go into the module 1, the logistics fundamentals, lean logistic fundamentals and metrics, and then if we have time, we can look at the module 1 assignment also. But if we don't have time, we can assign it in the next week. So we are open for anything, but this is the brief agenda for today. Okay, so starting off with, hope you could remember this slide. The whole Academy for Lean portfolio is portrayed here, and we are not just providing individual trainings for training programs like this, but also we do corporate consulting in many countries, and also we have an arm to do corporate in-house trainings. So these are the major areas that Academy for Lean is currently operating. And then if you move to the specific certified lean logistic professional is a joint effort from OBEI and Academy for Lean. This is certified by OBEI, Ontario Business Excellence Inc. in Canada, and operating in certain countries, including Sri Lanka, under Academy for Lean. So you will be receiving world-class certification and also experience and learnings from Academy for Lean. About OBEI, Ontario Business Excellence, you can Google it. You can go to LinkedIn and search for these things. A company based in Ontario, providing business operational excellence, strategic growth, and people empowerment. So this category, the training program that we are developing with OBEI under Academy for Lean will be falling into the people empowerment part. So that's a bit about the Ontario Business Excellence. And the trainer will be me for most of the modules. And there are a couple of modules where you will be assigned with a few other trainers, where they are the industry or the subject experts. They will take you through all the other modules assigned to them. But for just a quick update about myself, I'm living in Canada at the moment, and have this mentioned experience in the logistic and warehousing field in my previous engagement at MS Holdings in Sri Lanka, and exposed to many organizations like Toyota, Nike, and many other main ecosystems in supply chain. And apart from that, I have engaged with many logistic service providers like Hellman, EFL, Maersk Logistics, and APL Logistics. Even in Canada, I'm working in a logistic company at the moment. So, which brings that total experience and exposure of mine with the training curriculum of Academy for Lean as a combination to you. So you will not only get theoretical knowledge, but also good examples, live examples, and case studies in the industry with my experience. So that's a bit about me. You can Google and search for LinkedIn about my profile as well. All right. So we touched about this one, and the first day will be completely free for you. That is today. And then every Sunday, we will be meeting at 7:30 to explore the rest of the modules. Okay, I think hope you remember this slide. The methodology of the whole program will be online, and we will be given out a handbook, a PDF copy to you every day. And the first handbook already circulated. And for the second handbook onwards, we will only be giving out to the registered participants. Today it's a free day, so that's why we circulated to everyone. And also for the people who are registered, will be shared the daily recording after each program. So you can just catch up if something you have missed during the time. Okay, and then in terms of evaluation, you will be evaluated in terms of attendance, that you need to mark your attendance as 80%. We will be monitoring this. And also module specific assignments. There will be a couple of module specific assignments based on the learning modules, and there'll be final exams. So these are the 3 evaluation criteria. But don't worry, we completed 2 batches before you. You are the 3rd batch, and most of the assignments that we gave them were very helpful to them. And also some of the discussions we jointly take will be very exciting and also informative. So you will learn a lot of things by doing this on your own. That's the purpose of doing this assignment, not to like penalize you or cut marks from you. No, nothing like that. It's just to make sure that what we learn theoretically can be applied in the real life scenario. That's the purpose of these assignments. Final exam will be the same. It is not that hard, but if you attentively listen to what we discuss each day, and if you can go through the assignments properly, final exam will be not a challenge. Okay, so everybody will get an e-certificate with the 70% mark. And if you require a hard copy, we can deliver this from Canada itself. So you will be getting a Canadian certificate delivered to your specific address. Okay. I'm not spending much time on this slide. You already aware of the what's in it for you by obtaining this type of a certificate. What is the reputation that you are getting from the industry? And then what are the opportunities that will knock on your door when you have this kind of a certificate from a recognized company? And also, not to mention the industry connections. We are doing this in 2 ways. One, you're already connecting with your fellow students who are participating to this training program on a weekly basis. And at the same time, after the full program, you will be entitled to join our alumni program. So already we have 2 batches over there, and you will be exposed to many past students as well as industry experts. So you can share your thoughts, you can talk to them directly even, and get to know each other. You can share the challenges you have, or best practices you have with the rest of the members. So that's the connections that you will build. So this is the sample certificate, like the outline of the certificate that you will get. It will be more attractive than this. This is just a draft. The main point here is not the outer appearance of the certificate, but the weight of the certificate. That means you have a unique certification number where you can give to anyone when you update your LinkedIn, or when you have let's say you have a profile page, you can mention the certificate number, and the person, if somebody want to check this with the Ontario Business Excellence, they need to just input the certificate number, and they will the system will give them a snapshot, or they can just email the info@obiexcellence.com, and the verification will be returned within 1 business day. So that's the main advantage that you will get of having this kind of a certificate. Now, here's the whole course content for you to understand what we are doing for the rest of the program. Starting with module number 1. Now, in module number 1, we will mostly learn about the fundamentals and metrics. This is more essential for you because the thing that the first information that you will know about lean will be discussed here, right? Now, in module number 1, we will go through all the definitions, history, like certain success stories. And also we will look at goals and metrics of lean logistics. It can be lead time, it can be inventory, or it can be things like on-time performance. And in module number 2, you will be exposed to the principles, the adaptation of principles. We are not deeply discussing the tools here, but we will just look at how to adapt those things in a logistic environment. Like the methods like value stream mapping, just in time, even simple tools like 5S, simple but powerful tools like 5S, and then Kanban, TQM, and then Kaizen, right? So these will be looked at here on a very high level, just to understand how to adapt those things in a logistic environment. And also in module 3, so it will be day 4 or day 5 while we are doing module 3, we will be looking at logistic waste. I think I made this point in the introduction also. Now in lean philosophy, we will be discussing waste in different forms. But here we have tailor-made, again, we have tailor-made the 7 wastes in a way that the logistic team can understand it better. Now we have a few professionals from freight and logistics industry here. So this will help you to understand the types of waste that you are incurring in your own organization. And then if you identify the waste, then it's a matter of reducing or eliminating completely, right? Okay. And in module number 4, we will be looking into the same tools that we learned in module number 2, mostly the same tools or the methods. And we will now discuss about the application. Earlier we discussed about adaptation. What makes these tools adaptable to logistics. And now we are learning in module number 4 about application. Now in module number 5, we will be looking at the lean techniques for transport optimization. Now in lean, we learn about transport as a waste, right? Everybody knows that. Transport as a waste. Now, but if I ask Suzanne about, let's say, what her company would do, the transport is the core business, part of their core business. And warehousing could be another part of their business. You can't consider now here, you can't consider that as a transportation as a waste, right? But breaking into elements, you will go into details of transport management when it comes to, let's say, route planning, goal setting, let's say load optimization, and then transport about management systems, transport management systems, and also the things like green logistics. Now, when we break down the whole transport into these areas, then you will understand what are the value adding things into the core business as what are the non-value adding things into the core business. Then you have to tackle these non-value adding thing. Simply what is anything that is customer is not willing to pay for you. Then you have to either reduce it or completely eliminate it. So we will discuss these things in more detail when we move into these modules. I'm just giving you a snapshot of the whole content of the course. Now, then we will do the same thing for the warehouse management. Right. Now, again, warehouse is a storage, right? Storage is considered as a waste in lean, right? But again, we are breaking down the warehouse management into certain elements where we discuss about layout optimization. We are discussing about inventory management and also the warehouse management systems. And I will be giving you certain case studies in this module, how certain companies doing this without incurring much non-value additions. So we will look at this in a different angle, where warehousing and transportation in module number 5 and 6. In module number 7, you will be exposed to, now from module number 1 to module number 6, you will be learning individual areas and certain application of tools. In module number 7, we will be exposing you to real world case studies. So there are a couple of interesting case studies from Toyota, from Amazon, from Dell, from Walmart, from Nike, and certain case studies I have handpicked to you from the logistic companies that I'm working currently on a day-to-day basis, like Ryder, like Day and Rose. I think you may have heard certain names. They are giants in the Canadian logistic industry. So I will be taking you through these real world case studies in order to understand you about the things we have already discussed in module number 1 to 6. So then you will know how to apply those things in your own organization. So that's the purpose of this whole program. Okay, now up to module number 7, I hope you are clear. And then what in module number 8, we are discussing about the risk management of logistics. So just identify the risk, and then inventory. What are the inventory risks that you have, and then how to assess a risk using the lean tools and techniques, and then last but not least, the mitigation of risk, as well as the risk management framework, what type of a framework that a company would have. So you will be amazed when you understand this type of a framework, that how much risk that you will still carry in your own organizations. So you can go back to your organizations and do these risk assessments and make sure those risks are not there anymore, or rather you have an action plan for that. So when we understand these type of things up to module number 8, now you covered most of the core functions of this whole program. And in module number 9, you will be again discussing about the customer service and satisfaction part of it. Because all of the module 1 to 8, the purpose that we are doing all of these things, right, is to satisfy the customer. But having said that, we need to understand what are the measurements and what are the indications that a customer will give to us in order to measure these. So this is module number 9. Before the final assessment, we will go through in module number 10 about the future trends about lean logistics. So this is all about, we are discussing here about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on and so forth. And then you will be given the final assessment. So in between the final assessment and module number 1, there will be a couple of module assessment, as I explained earlier. And those are just to give the in-depth knowledge about what we have already discussing, and then the practical application of it. All right. So that's pretty much about it, about the course content. Any questions before I move forward? I think you pretty much clear about this, but if you have any doubt, you can just let me know. I can clear you.
So we can clear.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. So just bear with me for these every Sunday for 2 hours. Just as much as you can, please avoid not concentrating of this program. Keep away your phone. I mean, those are the basic things that I don't want to tell you because it's your time, and my effort is to get you across this project or the program as a project, and then make sure that you gain practical knowledge out of this. Otherwise, it will be just another certificate without any value addition. All right. Okay. Just stay focused during these 2 hours, and let's complete this together. Okay. I'm moving on. I'm not going to show this video, which I showed you last time. Hope you could remember the video because all of you were there. I'm not going to show this again. All right, so let's jump into the module number 1 from today onwards, and then let's understand this better. So let's look at the module content first. As you can see, we are in module number 1. We are discussing about what is lean logistics, fundamentals and metrics of lean logistics. So breaking down this module, you will understand introduction to lean logistics, and then you will understand the importance of lean logistics, goals of lean logistics, where you discuss the key performance indicators mainly, and the key principles of lean logistics. Here you learn about the principles, like the foundation of lean logistics. And then we will discuss about the traditional logistic versus lean logistics. So what's the difference between these two things? And also some of the metrics that you need to use to make sure that you are doing the right thing. And also we will look at the module assignment if we have time today, or else we will look at the module assignment in the next day. All right. This is the content of the whole module. Right. Now, hope you remember this slide. I'm just briefing you up again just to start the module. Now, we are talking about lean logistics, right? We're talking about this one. You already know about logistics. You already know about logistics. Or some people, because you have already completed a certain lean certification, you already know about lean. Now, lean is all about identifying and eliminating waste, or as we call it, the non-value adding activities, right? And lean is predominantly used in manufacturing industry. That is also you will learn in the future slides as well. Now, logistics was there even from the medieval era, right? Logistics is something, a coordination between movement, right? Like warehousing or transportation. So that is simply logistics. Now, what we are trying to do here, combine lean logistics versus, combine lean with logistics and creating something unique as lean logistics. So the attempt here is to understand the lean methodologies that are being practiced across manufacturing sector, combine it with logistic principles, and to bring up a module like this, a process like this. So that's the very brief understanding about lean logistics. And we looked at this slide also last time. In the previous slide, we discussed the definition of lean logistics as an organization. But as an individual, you are just now, let's say you want to complete a task. You are a carpenter and you need to complete a task. And you only have the hammer, right? And then you can only use the hammer because you only have the hammer. But at the end of this course, as a person, you will be equipped with many other tools like hammer. So you can do your job without wasting time, as well as with a higher efficiency, because you have many tools with you. You don't need to be afraid after this. After doing this course, you don't need to be afraid for any challenge. It can be a planning related, demand planning related challenge, or it can be a warehouse challenge, or it can be a freight related challenge in an organization where freight is handling. You are equipped with a lot of tools that you will see the problem in a different way. But if you see a problem where you only have the hammer, you only know how to hammer, because that's the only tool you have, right? Hope this is clear also. Now, let's go into the details now. Now, as I explained earlier also, logistics is mainly two components. Main functions of logistics will be two components. One, the transportation part of it, right? Transportation part of it. And then the second one is the warehousing part of it. This is simply logistics, right? When you talk about logistics, it is either transportation, it is either warehousing. Now, inside this transportation and warehousing, or as we call it logistics, we have inventory management, right? We have order fulfillment requirements. We have material handling requirements. We have packaging requirements. And then we are talking about the information flow. And then mostly we are not discussing, but the return management, right? This is also important. Not only the normal logistics, but return is pretty much important as the normal logistics. And then customer service, and then fleet management. So these are some of the main functions of logistics. But in your opinion, there can be many. You can name many. You can include many to this slide, right? But these are like some of the key logistic or main logistics functions. Now, in order to start the lean logistic function or the lean logistic process, we will just have a look at the evolution of logistics, and then we will look at the evolution of lean, and then we will combine it together and see how best we can fit in lean logistics into it. Now, this slide explains you about the total evolution of logistics in a one pager. Now, if you look at the ancient times, right, you had the early trade routes, right? Mainly utilization of natural, it can be natural waterways, and mainly footpaths, right? For trade, they use natural waterways for sure, and mainly on foot. And then there we experience or we read certain things that they had certain level of domestication of animals, like horses or camels for transportation in the ancient times, right? And also the establishment of Silk Road. Hope you all know about the Silk Road, and connecting Asia with the rest of the Europe world. So this was there even in the ancient times. So these are the the evidence that we can see in terms of ancient times, in terms of logistics. Now, then comes the medieval period. Now, in here, we see the development of waterways transportation into certain maritime advances. That means development of certain larger and more durable ships for sea trade. We see a lot of evidence here. And also, the isolation of trade expanded here, like increased in trade, growth of trade and merchant fleets, like that. And also, we see here the storage and warehousing functions in the medieval times. The construction of mainly like the construction of granaries to store the grain, the excess grain, right? Wheat, mainly wheat and barley, right? Just to store the surpluses of goods. So that is evident in medieval period. Now then comes the 18th century, where the industrial revolution happens, right? Now here, apart from the ancient and medieval period, we see introduction of machinery and factories for production. So this comes with the 18th century. And also developments of man-made canals and also the railway, right? So the steam engine was born in 18th century. So that, I think that leads to increase or leveraging in rail transportation. Those are the remarkable milestones in 18th century. And also the postal service establishment happened in 18th century. Right. Now, let's look at the 19th century. In 19th century, we see a lot of expansion in railway. Extensive railway networks, like with facilitating faster inland transportation in 19th century. And then the invention of steam engine in the previous period converted into steamships in the 19th century, like introduction of commercial steamships. And this, like the steam engine of the railway, the steamships became the revolutionizing item or rather method in the ocean transportation, sea transportation. And in 19th century, we see the invention of the telegraph. We are talking about the information flow, right? So telegraph is revolutionizing in that period the communication part of it. So information flow. Okay, now comes to the early 20th century. In early 20th century, we see the motor vehicles, the invention of the motor vehicles for transportation. The motor vehicle was invented earlier, but for transportation, we see evidence in 20th century. Now, at the same time, for inland transportation, we see a reduction in dependency on the railway, because earlier it was only railway and animals, right? Now in 20th century, early 20th century, we see the motor vehicles are being used to transport goods to handle logistics. And also in here we see the air transportation, introduction of airplanes for mail and passenger transportation in the 20th century. Okay, now every bad cloud has a silver lining, right? We all heard about that idiom. And then similarly, in 20th century, we experienced the World War, right? With the World War, with the innovation that required to handle a war, some of the logistics needs to handle certain military equipments, can be ammunition, it can be military equipments, was introduced. So this again a significant milestone in the logistic industry, the World War. And also we discuss here about the supply chain management to handle those military needs, right? And then we are going to the mid 20th century, mid to late 20th century. Mostly the difference here, what we see is the containerization, introduction of standard shipping containers, transforming global trade. And also the introduction of computer technology, adoption of computers for inventory management and tracking. And then we see the intermodal transportation. We will learn these things in future. Intermodal transportation is, I think Suzanne must know this already. But intermodal transportation is all about using several transportation methods to complete the delivery. It's a combination of, let's say, railway and trucking, and then ocean transportation. It's a mix of transportation methods to integrated transportation system to make sure the delivery is being sent. So the intermodal transportation evidence we see in this era. Now we are going to the late 20th and early 21st century, this one. Now here we see globalization, expansion of global supply chains, and the concepts like just-in-time inventory systems. And then here we see e-commerce, rise of e-commerce, increasing demand for efficient logistics, and we use the term last mile delivery. And then in terms of IT side, we see a lot of advancements in IT systems, implementation of ERP systems and advanced tracking technologies, warehouse management systems, transport management systems, etc. So that is late 20th to 21st century. And then we talk about the 21st century and beyond. This is all about automation, robotics, use of automation and robotics in warehouse and fulfillment centers. You already experienced this now. And the next step of AI and machine learning, integration of AI and machine learning for predictive analysis, or to optimize your warehouse. And then lastly, the sustainability part of it. Focus on more sustainable logistics solutions. And this is not a nice to have thing for the moment. This is a must have thing in a logistic environment in present days. So I hope everyone got a clear understanding of the evolution of logistics. Any questions so far? We can have a quick break also if you need to grab a cup of coffee or water or use the restroom. Any questions so far? Like any, or you can add anything, like anything I have missed here, anything we didn't discuss, anything that you know something to add here. So please feel free to unmute and speak. Or I'll give like 5 minutes. Now it's what's the time in Sri Lanka?
It's 8:33.
8:33. I'll give you 5 minutes until 8:38 to just grab off, go and have a cup of coffee or a water bottle, or you want to go to have a engage a phone call or something like that for like 5 minutes. So we'll have this break and we'll come back at 8:38 to be exact. Okay, now we learned about the evolution of logistics, and now let's look at the evolution of lean. And then we'll look at this in together. Now, this is interesting story. Now, when you think about the lean history, the first name or the first country that what is the first country that you will be remember, right? It will be Japan. Anybody want to think about history of lean? It's always Japan. But as you can see, the lean, like the recorded history of lean management, will be in 1798 by Eli Whitney, right? Who developed? He's from USA. He's an American, right? Developed the interchangeable parts, and then Henry Ford, who took the lead to start the assembling lines that we see right now. Even right now, we see a lot of assembling lines in a lot of industries, mainly in manufacturing industries. Like assembly lines will be in manufacturing industries. But this is the starting point of these lines. Earlier, in before assembly lines, all manufacturers did their work with customized, like handcrafted, like the ones that we have in certain industries right now, handcrafted, not on a production line like assembly line, right? But in 1913, as you can see here, Henry Ford invented the assembling line. So that's the second recorded major milestone in history of lean. And then in 1920, even before the Toyota Motor Corporation incorporated, Sakichi Toyoda went to USA, and he understood that there are a lot of opportunities if they implement Toyota lean manufacturing in their organization. So by this time, Toyota just started producing vehicles. Earlier, they were doing material manufacturing, not automobile manufacturing. So if you visit Toyota in Japan, they still have the first weaving machine that they used in their previous manufacturing before the motor corporation. So this is the transition that the major transition that Mr. Toyoda observed during his visit to USA. And then he came back to Japan, and he started these mistakes proofing or error proofing methods and these famous Ys, right, in Toyota in Japan. So this is the starting point in Japan, right? And then the world famous Toyota Corporation established in 1937. So this is one of the major milestones in Japan, where currently also many people in the world learn lean methodologies and concepts and practical application by visiting Toyota Corporation in Nagoya in Japan or Osaka, right? So this is one of the major milestones. And then comes Dr. Deming. You know, right? Everyone know this gentleman who invented the quality principles. Again, he's from USA. He's from USA. Now, even now, the Deming Prize is there for the quality side. You know that, right? Most of the organization are mature. When they mature in their lean transformation journey, right? They apply for these prizes. It's like a Nobel Prize for peace. Deming Prize for lean quality is like similar to, it's a very high standard, very recognized price if the company can get it. So you need to do a lot of hard work behind getting this type of a price. And then the famous Toyota production system in Japan, in Toyota, and also the quality circles, the Ono circles, were brought in by Taiichi Ono. So this is briefly the historical milestones in lean manufacturing. So we looked at the evolution of logistics, and we looked now at the history of lean. All right. Now, combining these together, our focus point is about the logistics or the service industry. Now, what are the key milestones in service industry of lean? We looked at the logistic alone. We looked at the lean alone, mainly in manufacturing sector. Now, this is kind of a combination of history of lean services, lean in services. In 1950s, with the Toyota production, TPS introduction, we see it expanded beyond the manufacturing. That is the starting point of lean in service industry. And then in 1980s, we see Western adoption of lean thinking. Now, when I say lean thinking, mainly the Toyota production system was customized according to the Western thinking pattern. They introduced certain, they introduced certain new things. They brought in new concepts in a westernized manner. Not only in manufacturing, but also in service industry. Now, in 1990s, after 10 years from the westernized adaptation, so they started introducing the ERP systems and supply chain management systems into the portfolio. So that means, so lean is visible in 1990. Even in 1990, lean is visible in these areas, even in supply chain management. And then comes the 3PL concept, early year 2000. Now we know all about 3PL, 4PL, now even 5PL is there. But the starting of 3PL, a company would take advantage of a 3PL, like outsourcing. We see evidence in early 2000 also. And then in 2010, we see a lot of technological and automation introduction into the service industry. In 2020, the era that we are in right now, we can see a lot of improvement in terms of the resilience and also adaptation of certain lean principles in service industry. And also the post-COVID pandemic. The post-COVID pandemic created a lot of new things in the industry, in the service industry. So that's about it. Like even in 2020, we see blockchains are being introduced, right? Blockchain technology. So we will learn about these things in the future slides. All right. Hope now we are very clear about the history of lean, history of logistics, and history of lean in logistics and other service industries. Okay. All right. Now, here's a interesting slide. Now, there are a couple of slides from here onwards that you need to kind of keep like a photo memory of these slides when we move forward, because these are like really important slides that you should understand and keep in your mind as principles, like the foundation of lean logistics. Now let's look at the pyramid, and just to understand what sort of a explanation is given here. We call it the 5 phases of lean. Now, you are here to understand the logistics aspects of lean. Now, when you go into your office, your working environment, your organization, you are expected to act as a lean leader to transform your organization, to transform your department, as well as to transform yourself into a certified lean logistic professional. That's your expectation. That's your expectation, and that's your company's expectation, right? So in order to do that, you need to go along this pyramid. Now, the foundation, if you look at the foundation of the pyramid, these are called prerequisites. This is something to do with having a proper vision statement, right? Upon agreed upon metrics, and then desire to implement a plan, like willingness and desire to implement a plan, and also to understand what's in it for me. So this is the starting phase of any transformation journey. You need to have a vision. You need to have something agreeable, right? And also implementation plan. Now, companies who are not still embarked in the transformation journey might have lack in these areas. So first, we need to fix that. We need to have a clear vision statement, vision, mission, values, those statements. And then you should have a clear goal, clear metrics, and then implementation plan. So those are the prerequisites. And then comes the stability phase. Now, here you start using certain tools like basic 5S, visual management, right? Like you're starting to standardize your work. Now, earlier you are doing whatever you want. People are doing whatever they want. But here in this space, the stability phase, you're kind of giving certain instructions like standardized worksheets. And you will start implementing quality feedbacks. What are quality feedbacks? Like the feedback that you get for the work that you are doing. So those are called quality feedbacks. And then the boards, like visual management, lean related boards are being posted in this phase. And then it comes the continuous flow. This is the third phase of transformation or lean implementation. Now, here you will start learning about more advanced tools like error proofing, and on QCO, right? Quick changeover, and then TPM, material flow racks, like gravity fed racks or something like that in your warehouses. And then material handling, right? The material handling systems, and then daily huddles like morning meeting or evening meeting or midday meeting, whatever you call it, but like you're monitoring your system on a daily basis, not at the end of a quarter or not at the end of each month. So this is the third phase on a improvement transformation journey. And then you go to the standard work, right? Look at the beautiful transformation journey in one slide, explained in one slide. Here you will start learning about standard worksheets. We are starting to discuss about the takt time, the rhythm, and then we try to talk about the balancing, the workload balancing, the human resource part of it. And then you are talking about the minimum stock levels and maximum stock levels. And what is the reorder level of inventory, right? So these are the standard things that you are starting to discuss in this phase. And the one before last will be the pull production. Now here we discuss about a fixed schedule, Kanban, inventory monitoring, and a lot of continuous improvement activities in phase 4. Last phase will be the pinnacle of everything. You will have a daily schedule, attainment, sequence production, and assembly, and you will run to volume, and then mix and level to sequence. So these are the type of things that you will be doing in phase 5. Now take some time and think of your own organization, everyone, and think in what phase that your company is still in. There is no hesitant. You can talk freely. If you think that you are still at prerequisite state, just tell that upfront, no problem. But if you're somewhere at somewhere in between, you can tell that. Most of the manufacturing companies, I know for a fact, that are like somewhere like between the 3rd and the 5th phase of this journey. But most of the logistics company are still at below the 3rd phase. They are still developing their stability or their continuous flow. Prerequisites, I think most of the companies, they have fulfilled, but most of the companies in Asian countries are at the level 3. And if you take companies in some companies in Canada, where I stay, small to medium scale companies, even not at prerequisites level. So we have a lot of opportunity in Canada that the learnings that we have to practice this in this kind of a scenario. They do somehow, but not with proper vision, proper agreed upon metrics. The companies here run mostly on scale. We used to do that, like even in Sri Lanka, we used to do that. In let's say early 1980s, we used to run with scale. We don't look at waste, 7 waste. We don't even know that, right? We didn't, the customers that we had in that era, giving us good money, like a good revenue, like the earning potential is pretty much high. Earnings per hour is pretty much high. So we don't need to look at waste, because whatever process indiscipline or waste inside the organization will not impact the profit. Profit will be there anyway, ample profit. But in this time of manufacturing revolution or industrial revolution, we can't act like that. Now, even in Canada, we are slowly starting to understand that. Companies are now, I see a lot of opportunities for continuous improvement specialists, lean technicians. We call it here quality improvement. So my point is here, as now you are the 3rd batch who are undergoing this lean transformation or lean logistics as a professional learning module, and you will have the first move advantage into the society, into the logistic industry. So good opportunity for you when you start implementing these things in your organization, you will understand the amazing things that you can do in your organizations. All right. Any questions on this? Any doubts? Any questions? Please feel free to ask. It's boring for me when only I speak. So I think because this is the first day, maybe you are shy to speak, or maybe you are not like fully concentrating on this one. But next day onwards, please make sure you allocate these 2 hours solely for this. Make sure you go home or go to a place that you can have a good internet connection and spend these 2 hours, focus on this, whatever discussing, and actively participate in the discussion. So then you will learn, also the rest of the team will also learn. Okay, so we are going into the day 2 from day 2 actually. We are going into the day 2 now. We will look at this example to start the this module. Now, as you can see, this is a very simple illustration of a supply chain, the start point and the end point. As you can see, the start point is the raw material extraction, right? And then the end point will be the consumer, and then the return part of it, the bottle. So just to explain you this, I'm taking this example as a company who produce fruit juice to understand this supply chain. Now, remember, this supply chain concept will be discussed throughout the module, so that these type of examples will be taken as and when needed. Right. Now, the raw material here is the fruits, right? And the farmers, the equipments that the farmers they use, right? So that is mentioned here. So the raw material will be the fruits and the certain ingredients that farmers needs to grow fruits. And as you can see, we have a transportation after the raw material extraction. There's a nice truck over there. And then it goes to the suppliers. Now, in a fruit juice manufacturing scenario, the suppliers will be the fruit collectors who will be collecting fruits from the farmers. So they need space. Warehousing. So they need transportation. They need to go to the farmers. They need to negotiate the price with them, and they need to collect, and they need to store without damaging the fruit, right? Without damaging the fruit. And then they need to have a count of it using certain weighing mechanisms or manual counting systems. And then they need to bring it to whatever their warehouse, central distribution units, and then they need to transport it to the factory on a agreed schedule, weekly or daily agreed schedule. On a fruit scenario, it will be mainly on a daily basis, right? Inside the factory, the production process will happen inside the factory. So after the factory, it comes to the distribution. So at the distribution, the production will be stored in a particular way, right? Where when the retailer or consumer demands create, you can start distributing it. So until that time, the distributor has to store it. So again, logistics, again, transportation, right? And then the retailer will be giving a signal here to the distributor. Okay, look, distributor, please send us X number of bottles by tomorrow. So that is the signal that a retail provider will be giving to the distributor. So the distributor will send whatever requirement on the given date. After that, the retail service provider will be distributing it to the end consumer, right? After consuming the goods, it will still not end the life cycle of the product because the empty canister will be there. Now, in an ideal supply chain, but most of the supply chain, we neglect this part. But in an ideal supply chain, we have to have a reverse logistics in process to retrieve these canisters back to the factory. Otherwise, the supply chain loop will not close properly. It will impact a lot of sustainable initiatives. So in a modern supply chain, you have to close the loop. It can be a glass canister, or it can be a plastic canister, it can be reusable, or it can be recycled, whatever. There should be a return process. Now, in just to give you an example, in Canada, the government will not even give you license to produce certain things if you don't have reverse logistics. That's critical, because otherwise it will end up in landfill or certain illegal activities, right? So it's that critical. Okay, hope you are clear on that slide. And let's look at this slide. I already explained you this on the introduction session, so I'm not going to spend more time on this. Just have a look at the importance of lean logistics. We discussed many times this even today. Enhance efficiency, cost reduction, improved quality, greater flexibility, and then environmental benefit. So why I'm reiterating these things? Now, when you move into the next modules, you have to make certain wins, right? As a supply chain leader, as a lean leader, you have to look at certain benefit to your organization. So those benefits will come from these areas. You either enhance the efficiency, or you reduce the cost to your organization, or you improve the quality of the product or the service that you provide, or you create more flexibility, more resilience, more agility into the organization. Or lastly, as I explained earlier, you will create more sustainable initiatives. So these are the main components that you're targeting on improving. So that's why I'm keep on iterating these things, the importance of lean logistics into your program. All right. So we understood the lean concepts, the 5 phases. Now let's look at the 4 rules of lean. So before we look at the 4 rules of lean, I will explain this slide in a later, a little bit after there's a video. First, look at the video, and let's come back into the slide after we are watching the video. Now, keep in mind, now the 4 rules of lean will be applicable to any industry. It can be manufacturing, it can be logistics, it can be even healthcare. It is very applicable to any industry. So what we are trying to do here is to kind of look at the basic philosophy. Now, the 4 rules are stemming out of the Toyota production system from Japan. So we'll look at the 4 rules of lean as the philosophy explained, and then we'll convert it to some unique principles where we can use in the logistic industry. So we'll look at the philosophy first, and then we'll convert it to our own 5 principles in the logistic industry. That's the next lesson. We'll look at the video, and just when you look at, so there are many videos in this whole journey with you. So please, when you look at a video, you have to do 2 things. One, you have to take a piece of paper and write down any keywords that you come across. So you are writing down the keywords just to understand the video properly. And also, if you have any challenges, any questions, you may ask after the video. When you write it down, you will remember the challenge that you have. So that's the purpose of. So we will watch the video now. Just let me know it is audible. Is it audible? Any observation of the video? Anything that you want to discuss before we go into the detail? This will be the last slide for today. So we can have a small discussion of today's learning, and then I will show you what we are going to do next week. I'll briefly explain the slide, and then we'll discuss. All right, as I explained earlier, the principles or the 4 rules are common across all industries. What we are trying to do here is to understand understand the philosophy first, and then apply it to our own organizations in our own way in terms of lean logistics. Now, first one is the structure every activity. Hope you understood from the video also. It's about having a structure for each activity, right? And then comes the connectivity. Clearly connect each customer and supplier, right? Clearly connect each customer and supplier. So hope you already know that customer supplier means not always, let's say you are, let's say on a warehouse scenario, your customer is not always your consumer, right? It can be an internal customer also. Let's say in a warehouse scenario, a raw material warehouse scenario, manufacturing will be your customer, immediate customer, right? So whatever customer, it should be connected. Clearly connect each customer with the supplier. That's the second rule. First rule, structure every activity. Second rule, clearly connect the customer with the supplier, right? And then the third rule. So remember, these are rules. Rules are not to be broken. If you break the rule, that means you're not practicing lean anymore. You're doing something else, right? You can't call it lean, or you can't call it the transformation, lean transformation. You're doing something else, right? Now, these are rules. Third one is specify and simplify every flow. Now, how we are going to do it, we'll learn in future. But just to understand, you have to make it simplify as much as possible and specify. Because sometimes we are trying to solve now when I had many experience, like when we get a team of individuals to do something, they are trying to solve the world hunger problem. It is not specific. Like I'm putting a lot of efforts and try to do a lot of things. It's not specified. And it's not simplified also. We are taking certain initiatives. We are looking at certain projects where we can't even imagine the scope of the project. It's that big. So always break down. That's the fourth rule, right? Sorry, third rule. Always break down and start doing simple things. Specify and simplify. That's the third rule. What's the fourth rule? The last rule will be improve through experimentation and the lowest level possible towards the ideal state. So this is very powerful, very powerful. Now, I'll ask a question here again from anyone can answer this. Let's say you are walking in your warehouse, right? You are walking inside your warehouse and you see a problem, you see a waste, and you know the problem. You know the problem, and you as a leader, you know the solution also. So what should be your next step? You know the problem and you know the obvious solution also. So what would be the next step? Like whether, okay, you saw a problem and shall we do a lean session, like a brainstorming session, and understand the problem, what are the solutions, and get team awareness, and then what you should do, like what are the steps that you should do, like now you know the problem, you know the solution also, huh? So then as a leader, let me ask from four of you, what are you going to do? Starting with probably someone, Shashikala, what would you do? Like when you walk, you see a problem and you know the solution also, and you have a team with you. What would you do? Shashikala?
Try to solve out.
Okay, so that means you are going to implement it right away, or what is the approach that you are trying to do, or discuss with the team, or what you are going to do?
First discuss with them the use proper implementation for that.
Okay, good answer. What about Suzanne? Thanks, Shashikala. What about Suzanne? What are you going to do?
Okay, we can first try to find out the reason for the problem so
And
that it would not occur again, and then bring in the solution and implement it.
okay. Again, a good answer, Suzanne. Thank you. Roshan, what about you? I'm not sure whether you can hear me, but please make sure next time you have a proper internet connection, proper place. Otherwise, the discussion will be like in only one way, like I'm only talking and you guys are listening. It doesn't take you anywhere. We have to kind of get this going, right? So yeah, for today that's fine, but next week onwards, let's do that. Okay, Rushan, let me know when the internet connection is back. Taraka, what would you suggest? Like so as the leader, what are you going to do? When you see that?
Actually, that seeing already the solution, so with the team, we implement it, and so after that, we need to do proper analysis and find the root cause and the fix the problem, so avoid it will not happen in the future.
Okay, very good, very good. I think most of you somewhat captured the answer. Thank you for that, Taraka. Yeah, so the rule says, you know the obvious solution, go and implement it. But in my experience, I have seen people just for sake of having meetings or brainstorming sessions. They just want to like gather people and discuss things. No need, because you know the problem, you have previous experience, you know the solution for this, then why don't you go and implement? Right? In lean, we say, see the obvious, fix the obvious. Don't try to create like unnecessary complex situation where you don't need to fill like a big format and like a draw something or what. No need. Like, if you know the problem, you know the solution, just implement it. But lean needs the tools. The effectiveness of the tools are needed when you don't know the solution. When you don't know the solution, there is a scientific way to approach it. That's where the lean comes in. You don't need lean if you know the solution, right? You go and implement it. But if you don't know the solution, but you still have a problem, and whatever solutions that you have already provided are not giving you results, so that's where the lean comes in. So the amount of time that you spend on this the exploring the solution will be reduced with usage of proper tool. So try to imagine that picture that I showed you in the earlier slides, previous slides, where a person with a hammer and person having a lot of tools. So imagine you see a problem and you only have the hammer. You don't know what to do, right? You only know how to hammer. But as a leader, as a lean leader, when you have a lot of tools, you will improve the rules. The fourth rule of lean will be come into play. You will experiment it. You will improve it at the lowest level possible, because it will then when you do that, it's a less cost for the company also, right? We will learn these things in next couple of weeks. All right, so next week onwards, we will be looking at the key principles of lean, starting off with the 4 rules. We will be looking at the key principles of lean, application of key principles of lean into the logistics sector. And then we will discuss a lot of examples. So please bring in your examples as well. Don't feel shy to discuss or feel, I mean, there is no right or wrong answer in most of the things that we discuss. So please bring in your ideas as well. And we will then look at together how to understand this better. And as a result, you go to your office and then implement whatever. So that's it from me for today. I will hand over this to Darshana if he has certain general announcements in terms of the course or in terms of Academy for Lean. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks, Dilip. So we didn't get the feedbacks today. No? Okay, so we'll get 30 seconds feedbacks. How do you feel about the course? About today's session, right? Okay, how about Susain? How do you feel today? Is it good or bad? Anything you can tell, right? Is a feedback mean no need to tell only the good things?
Yes, it was informative today, and hoping to get more insight in the future weeks to come.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Actually, the learnings come from next part onwards. Today, the introduction part and little bit about the foundation. So the tools and other things we will be learned from next week. How about the Taraka? How is your experience today?
Actually, interesting session. So actually, we have some that in the lean background. So actually, it can easy. We
Yes.
can learn so based on that. So we hope you so we can get a lot of things.
Thank you. Thank you. So how about Shashikala? How about yourself?
It's really good, sir. I gain a lot of knowledge in practical and theoretical.
Yes.
It's good.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Actually, the practical implementations and the case studies we will learn from next week onward. So how the classes happen from next week onward? Now, once you have been registered already, right, except Taraka, all the others has already been registered, right? Taraka, still I not get your registration. Please share that one in our
I
chat
will
box.
complete.
Okay, it's take only at
Complete.
just fill it. Then how it's happened? Your data details will be shared with the OBEI Canada, so you will get the registration. Then we will add you to a separate group, right? From next week onward, we are not sharing the any handout or the link, Zoom link in our common platform or the common WhatsApp group. We will share you a separate platform, right? So that is why please be registered on the form filling, then we will add it there, right? So that's all. And next week we will be share the handout around Wednesday or Thursday we will share. And the other one is the recording of today will be share on tomorrow evening or definitely Tuesday morning we will share it if we couldn't share in tomorrow. So every day, every class, after the class, maybe 1 or 2 days we will share the class video, and 4 days prior to the class we will share the handout. So that means you have a time to take the printout of the handout. So it's better if you take the printout and get ready for the classes. And another thing is this is not a one-way class, so you can ask anything, don't worry. Yeah? It doesn't matter about the language, right? Because the international course, this is a Canadian course, that is why we are delivering in English, because we cannot deliver this course in Sinhala, because we are not doing the other course. It's a Canadian course. So it doesn't matter, even if you want to ask any question in Sinhala, you can ask, right? So it doesn't matter the language. So most important thing is what you learn. And this is not a language class, this is a lean and logistic class. So don't take language as a barrier. So we'll meet on time, right? 9:30. Thank you, Dilepa. Thank you very much. And thank you all. And we'll see you on next Sunday. Thanks. Have a nice week. The week is start tomorrow onwards. Wish you a very good week tomorrow onwards.
Thank you.
Yeah,